It is 7 o'clock, and we'll call the regular village board meeting to order. If everyone would rise to say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk would please call the roll.
Marevka. Here. Jones.
Yep.
March. Here. Parker.
Here.
Ham.
Here.
Bowden.
Here.
Approval or corrections to the minutes of the September 10th, 2018 regular village board meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee March, seconded by trustee Marevka.
March.
Yes.
Marevka.
Yes.
Jones.
Present.
Bowden.
Here.
Ham.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Accounts payable and payroll pay period ending 9/8/18 in the amount of $45,788.47. Accounts payable general fund, $33,361. Water and sewer fund, $32,370.78, giving a total of all funds $65,731.78. Are there any questions on any of the bills?
Core and Maine.
Core and Maine.
Minutes partnership.
There was.
Sorry.
That's okay. I looked at that one and I'm trying to remember. Tell you in a second. That is water meter parts and sewer manhole rings.
Got it. That sounds fun. And then Ray Heron. O'Heron?
That is police department ammunition.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Any other questions? Not a motion to pay the bills and the payroll.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Bowden, seconded by trustee Ham.
Bowden.
Yes.
Ham.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
March.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Marevka.
Yes.
Public comment and/or questions on any non-agenda item. Going to our reports of committees, no police chief's report tonight, engineer's report.
Sure. The Route 50 and Corning job is finally getting started. The contractor's anticipating starting the road closure detour on Wednesday this week. So starting Wednesday, I believe, the east side of Corning, east of Route 50, for about 500 feet or so will be completely closed. So the official detour route takes you all the way to Ridgeland and Peotone Beach Road back to 50, but anyone local, I would assume, would be, people in Meyer Glen go north, don't go south to get to Route 50 because it'll be closed. So their plan is to shut down to 2 lanes on Route 50 starting this week. So at the intersection of Corning, it'll just be 2 through lanes in the center. The 2 outside lanes will be closed because they're going to start the excavation and widening. Their plan is to get the whole east side and Corning done before winter. They are going to try their best, depending on the weather, to get the west side done for the widening and the base course of the road. But the final surface and the signals most likely will not happen until next year, spring, summer, whatever. That is where we're at with that as far as right now.
When we were talking at the committee of the whole about the safe routes to school, I think you were kind of waiting to hear what the board had to say.
If there was if you want to try to apply for the sidewalk on Wilmington Road, I don't know the exact limits. I don't know the exact side of the road. I think we'd have to talk to Bob and really look at it close. I don't think we need that for the application.
Right. I've got some paperwork that I found, from like one of the last discussions that we had about that.
But I think, we either determine if we want to, try to apply for that or do various replacement/new sidewalk in the vicinity of the junior high and the elementary school.
And I did reach out to Steve Stein, from the school, just asking if he had any, input on that, but I really never heard anything back. Personally, I think I would like to see us go after the Wilmington roadside again.
Yeah, me too.
There was less chance of getting that though, wasn't there, than the sidewalk by the schools?
We don't really know that.
Oh, I thought that's what you had.
No, it falls into the parameters.
It's within the 2 miles of the school.
Okay.
However, it's not right next to the school, so maybe it won't rank as high, but it is a bigger overall project, so it just depends how they scored it. The Wilmington Road sidewalk will be a little more of a challenge if we do get it, just as far as, dealing with Will County Department of Transportation, figuring out where they want, to allow crossing, and construction costs are a little, could be more varied because we don't know exactly everything going into it, but, so there's a chance it could be more than the grant, so that one's a little more difficult of a project, but, yeah, if that's, you've been wanting to fund that for a while, so this is a chance.
With $200,000 funded?
It depends. It's in that ballpark right now, but it depends how far you go, what side of the road, what they were going to require for the crossing of the street.
Can you submit more than one application?
No. I believe the school could submit an application themselves, but it's not for infrastructure. It'd be more for, there's other types of funding in this grant.
From a safety standpoint, I use Peotone Wilmington Road a lot, and I've seen people running, riding their bikes, walking, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a project worth going after again.
Just gotta figure out how to get them across the road without getting
Right.
wiped out.
And at what point?
Right.
That's, I know that we talked about Rathje, talked about by the old railroad tracks, or the other side street of the Meadow.
I think that is,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess those are probably the best 3 candidates, but I don't think we need to determine that until if we know we got
Right.
the project for sure. So,
Need a motion on that?
No, because it's not an agenda item. I think just direction, from the board. We've talked about this before, but we just needed to kind of come to a final decision on direction. So I think that's the consensus of the board, I think. Anything else, Troy?
that's all.
Anything on Ratchy updates?
They're just moving along. They lowered the water main, which they need to do for the culvert replacement. They're working on storm sewer right now, so just moving along. Their plan is to get as much done as they can, just kind of the same way. They said they'll get the base down for sure. They hope to get the surface down, but we don't know. Depends on weather.
School's been okay though? No
Yeah,
issues?
I
Good.
think everything seems
What
good.
about that sidewalk issue I talked to you about?
Oh, sure. Do you want to bring that up? Or what were you?
Well, it's been floating around there. There was a sidewalk that was supposed to be put in from Oak Street to Joliet Road that really doesn't lead to anywhere. There's no sidewalk on Joliet Road, and there's a line of large trees that either would have to be taken out or trimmed back severely, and we just thought, why spend the money on that? Maybe save the money and put it towards something else. And we also talked about connecting up the Rathje Road sidewalk with the Oak Street. The south side of Oak Street doesn't have a sidewalk for a few lots there, and you said the contractor thought they could sneak that in there or put that in there, right?
Yeah, we believe so.
So,
I think we can get that added. It's just if you want to eliminate that segment of sidewalk, you'll save, it's a 20% match, so you're not saving a ton of money, but you're saving some money. And it is kind of a difficult area because there's a ditch and those trees, like you said. If you don't think it's gonna be that much benefit,
It doesn't sound like it.
I drove over there Sunday and looked at it. It'd be much better to go the Oak Street, then people could walk all the way from Mill to the high school on sidewalk. We're not gonna put any sidewalk on the west side of Rathje Road, correct?
No. So eliminate
Yeah.
that side, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very good. All right, no old business, we'll move on to new business. Item A, proclamation, award presentation, Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award for Cindy Regas and Daniel Gersh. So I will read this before I make you stand up. How's that? So, whereas the success of the American community is dependent on the strength, integrity, and compassion of its citizens, and whereas the Village of Peotone believes that exemplary actions of the citizens of the Village of Peotone should be recognized and commended, and whereas on August the 2nd, 2018, after observing an 86-year-old male riding his bicycle, having difficulty crossing the railroad crossing at Crawford, Cindy Regas turned her vehicle around to check on the cyclist and found him unconscious on the railroad tracks with the bicycle lying on top of him. Cindy Regas then called her brother Daniel Gersh, who ran from his residence to assist. Cindy Regas could see the pant leg of the cyclist was caught in the chain as a freight train was approaching from the south. Cindy Regas was able to untangle the pant leg and remove the bicycle and pulled the cyclist off the rails as the train approached. Daniel Gersh ran towards the train, attempting to stop the train. Peotone police officers Sergeant Matthew Moore and Kurt Ingram arrived and assisted in moving the cyclist until fire personnel arrived. Whereas the actions of Cindy Regas and Daniel Gersh resulted in saving the life of the cyclist and should be commended, and whereas the Village of Peotone, the Peotone Fire Protection District, the Peotone Police Department, and the Peotone Police Department would like to commend the actions of Cindy Regas and Daniel Gersh for actions which occurred on August the 2nd, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved and proclaimed that I, Stephen J. Cross, President of the Peotone, Village of Peotone, this 24th day of September, 2018, present to Cindy Regas and Daniel Gersh an Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award by the Village of Peotone. So I have you guys come up so you can be on camera. Just what you want to do, I know.
How far the camera goes over. I can slide out of the way.
All right, we'll get kind of here in the middle.
Get Biden?
Well, if you ask me, I didn't do anything that anybody else in this room would.
Well, but you were there and you guys did it, and we greatly appreciate it. And I have a certificate here for both of you in recognition of Outstanding Citizen Achievement. This is for Cindy, and this is for Dan.
Thank you very much.
And then a copy of the proclamation for both of you, and along with the certificate is a special blue Village of Peotone pen,
Okay.
which is only given on special occasions. So
Very good.
wear it proudly, and thank you for what you guys did. And thanks for being part of
It
Peotone.
was unneeded, but I appreciate it, and you know what, if anybody ever sees something like that and drives away, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Right? No, I agree. But thank you. Thank you. All right, item B, special event permit, Vicky Moore, Game On Bar and Grill, 115 North 2nd Street, permission for a tailgate party, street closure, October the 12th, 2018. Hello, Vicky. That is. I should have put you before that.
So what I am thinking, what I would like to do is if anybody's been to a homecoming tailgate party at First Community Bank, for years I've been saying that is one of the most awesome things that we do in the town, or they do, they host, and I love it. And went to them and said, would you guys be okay if I pretty much copied everything you did, but for a different event? So the Rumble on 50 is the Peotone High School versus Santino. It's a big game. It's senior night this year. And we'd like to do a tailgate party. Same thing, free hot dogs, chips, and pops for the community. And it's more of a family event. There's going to be a lot of kids. I don't know that we'll get, the momentum the First Community does with theirs, but just to be on the safe side, I would like to close down Railroad Street just right behind the bar. Just because there's going to be so many kids and adults, and it's just better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. And I talked to chief, of course, he has no problem with it, so.
Second.
Motion by trustee March, seconded by trustee Jones to approve the special event permit application from Game On Bar and Grill with street closure of Railroad Street on October the 12th, 2018, from 4 to 6 p.m.
Sound good? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go save a leg.
March?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Marevka?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
And Parker?
Yes.
Item C, Peotone Boy Scout Troop 315 requests permission to canvass the village to sell the 27th annual spaghetti dinner tickets on October the 22nd and 29th, 2018 for the November 3rd, 2018 dinner at the American Legion.
We are just asking for permission to do our canvassing, which is October 22nd, 29th. And the spaghetti dinner will be our 27th annual at the Peotone Legion, Saturday, November 3rd. It will go on from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Our menu will include spaghetti bread, salad, drinks, which will be milk, lemonade, and coffee. And of course, we will have our dessert. Our tickets will be available at the door or from Boy Scout Troop 315. Adults will pay $8, but children are free. We would also like to ask for permission to go out and sell tickets starting next week by ourselves at our own individual time.
Any questions from the board?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee March, seconded by trustee Marevka to approve the request from the Peotone Boy Scout Troop 315 to canvass the village to sell their 27th annual spaghetti dinner tickets on October the 22nd and 29th.
March?
Yes.
Marevka?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
And Bowden?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Item D, Girl Scouts request permission to canvass the village to collect for the Helping Hands Food Pantry, October the 19th through the 21st, drop off bags, and October the 27th, pick up the bags.
Hello, I'm Cindy. This is Julia, and this is Melanie. We represent the Girl Scout Service Unit of 714. The Girl Scouts request permission to collect non-perishable foods and personal products for the Helping Hands Food Pantry. We serving the needs of local families at risk. This is our chance to take action and do part of our community. Do better for our community.
Girl Scout volunteers plan to go door to door throughout the village passing out paper grocery bags with donation instructions the week of October 19th to the 21st. They will return to collect any donation bags left for them on Saturday, October 27th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and deliver them to Helping Hands Food Pantry.
Girl Scouts will be assured to follow all safety rules and be considerate in carrying out these activities throughout the village.
Very good. Well, I think it's a great thing, and this is, how many years have you been doing this? 10? Yeah, it's been a while.
Jane Hines.
Right.
5 years. He's 25 years.
And it's a great thing, and I think you guys gather a lot of items for Helping Hands, so I think it's a great, wonderful thing you're doing. So a motion from the board to approve this request. Second? Motion by trustee Marevka, seconded by trustee Parker.
Marevka?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item E, Marcy Kohlberg, Smith, Kelling, Dykstra, and Ohm Annual Audit Report.
I've never understood why everyone clears out.
I want to thank you, Mr. French, for having us again. I did bring Becky Miles with me. She's one of our senior accountants and did quite a bit of the work, actually most of the work this year on the village, but I couldn't get her to get up there and stand up this year. She wanted to come and see what we do first. Next year, I may be sitting there and she'll be up here with you, but we'd like to thank everyone for having us, Marcy for helping, and putting up with us while we're here, and Stacy, I know she's not here. I'm going to go through your blue audit book quickly because it's not light reading. You guys can read it on your own, but just want to point out a few things here. On page 1 and 2 is our audit report. It's our opinion. This is actually the only thing that we control. The financial statements are the villages, the footnotes are all the village information for those, so these 2 pages here are really the only thing that we have a say on what is said in the report, and it is, again, an unqualified opinion, meaning that the financial statements are presented materially correctly. There may be a few mistakes here and there, but overall, everything is correct. So, just wanted to let you know that it's been, we've had that unqualified opinion as long as we've been working with you guys. An overview of the financial statements, I think I've got a new 1 or 2 of you here. So just an overall view, exhibits A through K, which are pages 3 through 13, present the overall village information along with the police pension fund. The footnotes are on 14 to 33, will tell you a lot about the financial statements, so you can read those to find out some more information. And the schedules in the back, schedules 1 through 5, present some additional information, a little bit more information in more detail, and some budgetary information. So just an overall understanding of how these are set up. Exhibit A, which is page 3, shows the overall position of the village on what's called an accrual basis, meaning we're picking up payables, receivables, and the investments that are in the police pension fund. Overall, your net position in the governmental activities, which is the left-hand column there, governmental activities here at the village are everything except your water, sewer, and garbage. So all other funds drop into that left-hand column there. The total overall net position, which is your assets less your liabilities, decreased this year about $710,000. We'll get into a couple of reasons why in a minute here. The police pension fund net position, your liabilities to the police pension fund. The police pension fund itself is not in these numbers, the investments, but the liability due to the pension existing is in these numbers. The effect that that police pension fund had was an overall increase of $280,000. So $710,000 decrease, $280,000 of that was due to the police pension. Another $56,000 or so was due to the IMRF pension liability that you have. If you remember, about 3 years ago, we ended up having to, under new accounting standards, bring those liabilities into the financial statements. Before, they were just hidden in the footnotes. About 3, maybe 4 years ago, we had to bring them in, and it was it's big numbers. As you can see, your net pension liability is, I've got to find it here, to about 2/3 of the way down under liabilities. It's the last liability listed. Net liability, pension liabilities is $4.9 million for the village. So large numbers coming in there and can cause pretty big swings in your net income. You also had a new note payable for the Public Works building that was recorded this year. The balance at the end of the year was $321,000. It was $350,000 that was a new note to buy that the Public Works building. The next page, on page 4, is the revenue and expenses of the village. Overall, again, we're going to talk about the top part here, the governmental activities. We'll talk about the water, sewer in a little bit. But at the top there, it shows your total expenses. It's a little bit different look. The left-hand column is the expense column. Overall, compared to last year, your expenses did go up about $180,000. 50 of that was in the economic development line, about $87,000 in the public safety, $30,000 in public works, and about $16,000 in administration. The next page on Exhibit C, page 5, shows your governmental funds. Now this is without the liabilities for the pension and the assets and all that for the pension. So this is more what you guys are used to looking at month to month and what Marcy is used to seeing. So overall here, that you did have a strong balance. The bottom right shows $2.8 million in your three funds, your general fund, your capital improvement fund, and your motor fuel fund. It was a decrease of about $370,000 over last year, but we will see that about $350 of that increase was due to the Public Works building being purchased. So if you skip a page here and go back to page 7, you'll see the revenues and expenditures of the governmental funds. Going to zero in more on the general fund. Your total revenues were about $117,000 over last year, so about a 4% increase. The expenditures did increase, but again, most of that was Public Works building, so if we take that building out, you had a $108,000 increase over last year, which is about a 4% increase also. On page 9, we're going to get to the water, sewer, and refuse fund. You did have a very good position. The very bottom is $6.3 million. That means you had 6.3 in leftover assets less your liabilities. Now, a lot of this will be going away in October.
October 1st.
October 1st, as you know. Most of this will go away. We've talked about shifting the refuse fund over to the general fund, so you won't have any enterprise proprietary funds left. That activity will just run through the general fund. So this is going to go away once the sale is complete. But you do have a very good position, strong position there, and probably one of the reasons why it was attractive to sell, so for a buyer there. On Exhibit J, which is page 12, that is your police pension fund, and I know David's here, I don't know if you're going to be talking about it. You already did, there you go. He's already told you a little bit about it. There's about a $70,000 increase in the total assets over last year, so David's covered that with you. Again, there's a lot of footnotes. I'm not going to go through them. If anybody's got questions, you can give us a call, let us know, let Marcy know. She'll get in touch with us. You should have a separate letter that was given to you that just outlines a few things about the audits and required communications. Again, nothing spectacular that you need to know. Yeah, it's the one that you're looking at right there. The annual financial report that goes to the comptroller's office is ready. I don't believe you have seen it to sign yet. Did you sign? Okay. I was out of the office this afternoon, but it's going back and forth between Nancy and your signature. So it will be ready. It has to go to the state. We file that and to the county clerk. Other than that, if you've got questions, I can attempt to answer or get back to
In
you.
your expert opinion, excluding the police pension fund, which direction are we trending, good, bad, or indifferent?
You had a little bit of a downward this year, but you bought the building, which is an expense in your fund financial statements, but you bought an asset. So overall, that's kind of a wash.
We like to think that that's worth more than what we paid.
Well,
So
and that's,
that would
okay.
give us a net positive.
Positive, if that's the case. So, but otherwise, like I said, your income was up 4%, your expenses were up 4%. So you're trending right along. It will be interesting to see with the sale. I mean, you're going to have some cash, what we're going to do with that, pay down some of that pension liability, whatever. You can also, I've seen a few villages pay into IMRF because you can actually send additional monies up there if you choose to help get that liability down. But overall, I think you're staying fairly even this year. Last year you were up some, but like I said, with the purchase of that building, yes, hopefully it's a positive for you, but it took some, didn't really take cash because you borrowed the money, but it looks like you spent cash out of that fund. But otherwise, the liabilities for the pensions are what?
Of all the communities that you service, how many are fully funded? What percentage?
Well, we don't, a couple of the villages we do don't even have any pensions. None of them are fully. I mean, we do one other that has a police pension and IMRF, and we do a couple that have just IMRF. None of them are fully funded. I mean, IMRF is a very strong fund, and they are funded at a better rate than what the police pension funds have been that we've seen, but that's always been the case. They're also better funded than TRS is. So, but the IMRF fund has been strong. Police pension fund, you know, could use a little bit of money. I don't know what the plan is for that money, you know, with the village board, but it could use some additional funds in there just to ratchet those assets up and get those working for the future pensions that are becoming due. Okay.
I have a question. The monies that we've got in water and sewer fund now, 6,000 per, I had the numbers here, but anyway, it's a pretty good chunk of money.
Cash?
Yeah. Why wouldn't we just flop that in with the money we got coming from?
But that will move to the general, correct?
Well, once we finish paying all the expenses for water and sewer after the sale, because there's still outstanding expenses for them, we will transition it into the general fund.
I guess why would we just slide it into the general fund for expenses as opposed to plus up the amount?
For accounting reasons, to keep these ladies happy.
No, rather than to what?
Well, we've got the money from the sale to Aqua.
Right.
And why wouldn't we take this money that we will have left over from water and sewer and just put it with that, so then we've got a bigger chunk of cash?
Put it with the pension
Yeah, because
fund?
account.
Not the pension fund.
Oh, no, with
Just
the-
put it in with the sale money.
But
Aqua.
accounting purposes, it's got to
Right.
be moved to the general fund.
Right.
Can it
Yeah,
be-
because you don't want to, once the system is sold, you truly do not have, this fund is set up to operate like a business because the revenues that you receive, you're supposed to ratchet, you know, and watch those. You've been increasing rates by 3% each year. You're supposed to run that water sewer like a business and receive monies in to pay whatever expenses there are. Once that system's gone, you no longer have that quote-unquote business. So this fund does not exist at that point. So the money will go over to the general fund and dispersed however the board decides that that is dispersed. You could theoretically leave the garbage, the refuse fund in there, but that is basically a pass-through. Whatever you're paying per household pickup is essentially what you're charging. So that, again, is really not being run as a business, because a business you'd be making money on those pickups, and that is not what the intent is. So we suggest you just move it all over to the general fund at that point. Other questions? I said, after you've looked at it, if you have questions, please, our phone number's in there, contact me or let Marcy know, and she'll get in touch with us, and we'll go forward from there. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Item F, a resolution approving use of an insured cash sweep service account for deposit of the proceeds of the sale of the village's water and wastewater systems, approving First Community Bank and Trust as a depository institution for such service and for other accounts of Village of Peotone, and designating authorized signatories for such accounts. So, Marcy, can you stay for just a minute? Thank you, please. Thank you. So, Marcy and I met with First Community Bank with President Greg Ohlendorf and Tammy Hoffman. And this is a fund, and maybe you can explain it better than I can, Marcy. But basically, it's a fund that we can have the money at the sale, at the closing, just deposited directly into this fund, so it starts earning interest immediately. Right now, we're looking at about 1.8 to 2%. Is correct, is what they had said, but that's going to trend, they think, upward, over the next few months. It's not a fixed rate, okay? So what this will enable us to do is deposit the money, start earning interest on the money, but give us the ability then to kind of get our feet, underneath us and figure out exactly where we're going, what we're doing, and then start looking at long-term investments along with possibly contributing some towards the pension or whatever else the board decides. But it's just a place to put the money for now. It's FDIC insured, and it's going to gain interest immediately.
The total amounts insured?
Yes, the total amount is insured.
Is there any restrictions on term?
No, there's not. So we can actually, we can withdraw at any time. We can withdraw up to 6 times a month if necessary. So it's not locked in.
How's the interest rate calculated? Who determined the 1.8?
I believe that's an FDIC sanctioned one, because it's an FDIC sanctioned fund.
Right.
So if the FDIC increases the rate, if the rates go up this month or next month, then they'll go up with it.
So going out and getting competitive bids would not get us a higher interest rate?
It could, but we would be locked in. So this is just a place for us to put it right now
Okay.
and decide.
Because we will look at long-term, locked-in investments, but right now, this just gives us a place to.
And it will continue to increase with rates, which most people anticipate will continue through the end of the year. So as long as it's not going to be locked in at the 1.8, it'll continue to grow and give us a little cash flow. It was a win-win for this period of time.
Where would it be held if we didn't put it in something like this? Just in our pockets, like?
Right, well, no, but we want
It would just literally sit in a savings account and earn less than 1%.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you'd have to have, we'd have to find multiple banks to collateralize it.
Okay. Okay.
This just gave
So
us.
this isn't a permanent?
No, absolutely not.
No, this is just a stepping stone for us. I mean, at some point, we may decide to just leave a portion of it there and put money elsewhere. This just allows you the freedom to access it and allow you to increase as rates increase over the next 6 months, as anticipated.
Yeah.
So it was a good spot for this period in time. We're not saying this is a permanent spot. This is just a place to put it and decide where to go from there.
Okay.
And start earning day one.
Yeah,
Start earning day one. as opposed
I
to,
just think the interest rate's low, but
Yeah, but part of the concern too was just if this is a special tool that was created, to my understanding, for units of local government so that you can get FDIC insurance on this big amount, whereas otherwise you'd have to split it up.
split up into a million,
Yeah.
$250,000 deposit.
So is that 1.8% after fees? Is there any fees associated with this?
No.
No.
Okay.
Is there any idea how long that'll stay in that account before it's?
It's up to the board at that point in time, yes. So we'll start having conversations and, just kind of start looking long-term.
Did you ever reach out to the Will County Treasurer?
I have not as of yet, no, not yet.
I mean, there's many other places we can put it, but it's a matter of the board needs to sit down and figure out how you want to spend, if you're going to spend any upfront for the pension fund, how long do you want to lock something in? And in this day and age when rates are continuing to increase, you're really only going to lock in for a year. So why lock in for a year to get an extra maybe 25 basis points? Whereas, we have the freedom to access it and make some decisions right now. If we're in there for 6 months, great. If it goes longer, fine too.
I think it's just a really good tool for our purposes right now. Any other questions, discussion?
Are we going to vote on the resolution?
Yes.
Okay, I did have a question.
Okay.
Where's my notes? Section 3, page 2 of the resolution. All bank accounts currently open or open First Community Bank and Trust of the Village may be drawn upon on the signatures of any one of the following village officers. I think that should be 2 signatures, not just 1.
Because right now we're 2 on.
Are you 2?
We're 2 on everything.
Okay. 2's good then. Let's do it.
So just changing 1 to 2.
Yes.
And everything we just talked about as far as withdrawals, terms, it's all, it's what I read, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, good, all right, perfect.
Good now.
All right, with that correction, with changing the word 1 to 2 in section 3 on page 2, a motion to adopt resolution number 18-R04, a resolution approving use of an insured cash sweep service account for deposit of the proceeds of the sale of the village's water and wastewater systems, approving First Community Bank and Trust as a depository institution for such service and for other accounts of the Village of Peotone, and designating authorized signatories for such accounts.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Bowden, seconded by trustee Jones.
Bowden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yep.
March?
Yes.
Marevka?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Thank you, Marcy. Item G, set Halloween trick-or-treat hours for the village, October 31st, 2018. Normally, this Halloween falls on a Wednesday this year, and normally our trick-or-treat hours are 4 to 7 traditionally, so I would ask for a motion to establish trick-or-treat hours for 4 to 7 p.m. on October 31st, 2018.
I'll motion it.
Second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Marevka, seconded by trustee Parker.
Marevka?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Ham?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Questions of the press? No questions from the press. Correspondence, communications, petitions.
When does brush pickup stop and leaves?
I need to get those dates from Bob today.
Yeah.
It's normally,
Doesn't it go through October?
yeah, it's normally in October, because when leaves start is when they stop brush.
Right, so maybe-
But I know I talked to him the other day, and we still had a few weeks left.
Okay.
I'll have to get the exact dates from him, and we'll get it put out there on the website and the village Facebook page also. And that was something I thought about earlier today too, and I forgot to get the exact dates from him. But yeah, leaves are gonna start falling pretty soon, and once that kicks in, they usually wrap up brush at that time.
And then leaves go to like the first week of December.
Yeah, or unless it snows. Yeah. Hopefully it's not gonna snow this year.
Keep hearing it's gonna
Good
be
luck with
horrible.
that.
Yeah.
They've been saying that for the last 3 years.
know.
How's the gaming cafe coming along?
I have no idea. I haven't not been in there myself, so it's, haven't heard anything.
Any new revenues to the village, the monthly revenues?
I haven't looked at the gaming, to see what that's generated
Yeah, I
particularly.
don't know if our monthly would go up
Yeah.
with a new venue like that, or,
It's something we definitely have a record of it. I just
Okay.
don't have it in front of me. Anything else? If not, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Motion by trustee Ham, seconded by trustee Parker.
Perfect timing. Ham?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Marevka?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, we got it 3 times. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't say that.